Peggy 18.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Green Preoject here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. On today's episode we will continue our brief adventure. Really hoping I'm going to be able to squeeze out at least a semi-successful series out of this. There are some tips and tricks videos, of course, already on YouTube. I might eventually try to make one of my own. That is, if I will be able to get past a certain point and stop dying due to starvation or just having too much toxic junk in my bloodstream, and so on and so on. I mean, the term being intoxicated is taking on a whole new turn in this title. So, where did we left off on the previous episode? We have set up our base operation. It did rain. Still waiting for the first harvest of the corn. We are still using the military rations mostly as our main source of nourishment. I was able to plant 8 trees, and we have gone down from 2,811 points of purple sludge to 2,811. I really hope I just did not say 8,211 or something stupid like that. I tend to do that. By the way, welcome to Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel. If you're new here, you're in for quite the ride. If you've never seen me cover any other title, then checking out my channel will be quite the treat for you, especially if you like to be entertained for long periods of time. And since I have been doing this for quite a while now, I have actually a stupid amount of content already on the channel, so if you're looking for that new thing to entertain yourself with and the cute cat videos are no longer amusing enough, well then consider checking out the channel. I have all sorts of things from discussions to playthroughs to tips and tricks if I manage to push my fairly limited hardware through the bases. Honestly, I have idea for like 200 videos and I have them written down. It's just that I'm currently not equipped to handle such loadout, so yeah, you're gonna have to wait, which is why I am suggesting the subscription. But I was able to actually pick up something fairly important, and that is 2 tree seeds. So we are gonna plant them ASAP so that we can get to those other pesky parts of this world. I'm gonna put these 2 fairly close to one another. I can put down 3 trees. How fun is that? I'm gonna put those over here. This way we are at count 11. And it will take 4 days for them to reach any maturity. At which point I'm gonna have to go to them, chop them down, and gather 2 seeds out of each of the newly planted trees. Because that is how we roll here. We plant a tree in order to kill it in a short amount of time afterwards. I know, it makes 0 sense. But that is the point of the game. We're supposed to... Not really sure if the point of the game is to get this count to 0 and this count to like 2,817, which is the starting number for the purple sludge. But yeah, I'm just not gonna speculate about these things. Hopefully YouTube will be done fairly soon so that we can gather up those seeds. Now, if you decide to chop down these trees before they reach their full maturity, you are gonna hurt yourself. The reason behind that is that you might get only limited access to certain resources, and also you are definitely not gonna get in those seeds, so you need to wait. and I'm really dying here because the corn is not wanting to cooperate. So I'm actually thinking I'm gonna just make some compost. So I'm gonna be turning the branches and the dried grass into more organic waste so that we have more compost, because it takes forever for it to be made. I'm gonna shut up and I'll talk to you in a second or two. So, now that I'm done having the organic waste, one of the things which I want to address is something which I talked about in the previous episode, in case you have not seen it. Go check it out. It's a great intro into the game. I read stuff and the things escalate fairly quickly. But no, besides me butchering the English language, I actually try to cover as many basic informations as I can based on my personal experience and what I came across. And one of the fun thing is that actually at the start of the game, I thought that trying to plant too many things would be a problem. Now, I did not find any form of, for example, a sprinkler system or something which would permit me to not have to water the damn crops on my home. If I go into the farming section, there's no such thing. If I go into the tools, I don't see such a thing too. And is there a way for me to get a freaking pickaxe? Because I swear to God, some of these things actually look like they would perfectly be utilized or mined with pickaxe, but I just don't have the pickaxe here. Let me tell you what I talk about. Or tell you. My God, what's wrong with me? Well, way too many things to count, but anyhow. When we move, for example, to one of these sections of the map, here you can see, for example, these types of rocks which have this different type of color. Now, I never survived long enough to guarantee you this, and by the time this has probably aired on the channel, I might have acquired a whole lot of different information, but this looks like it can be some form of a deposit. And once we will maybe get to the other parts of the map, there are definitely some rocks or stuff that looks like they can be a ferrite deposit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ferrite is one of the rocks which contain iron, which you can come across while foraging here at the first part of the map. And you usually use the ferrite at the start in order to make a sharpening stone. So when the tool is deteriorating due to you using it, that is how you can fix it. Okay, so the greenery here is growing and spreading. That is beautiful. But also, I'm not really sure if with the current amount of crops that we are growing, we will be able to sustain Bruce or Jason Statham, if you don't know who the hell I'm talking about, for a long time. Because like I said in the first episode, when you start this is not Stardew Valley, for example. Yes, I'm also covering that game. Okay, the corn is finally ready on day 5. Thank you. So, what I'm thinking is that I might actually try to sacrifice some of the compost in order to grow more corn. Here's the thing. I will require 5 pieces of corn in order to make one simple boiled corn in combination with water. So I'm gonna have to do this. And here you can see that basically 5 pieces of corn have been used. So now if I will try to turn the additional corn into seeds, I will be left with only 4 pieces of corn. The problem with that is that I cannot cook with 4 pieces. I need those 5 pieces. And therefore, I will need to think of some sort of way to expand the agriculture here for our main protagonist, otherwise he might find himself starving to death. And this is where I'm gonna run into a certain problem. Do I use the compost for growing trees or for growing crops? Because sure, the trees, they're beautiful, they attract greenery. Eventually we're gonna see some beetles and maybe even worms. I've even seen freaking crows flying over and crapping on my corn. But it's gonna take time, and if the time for the crops to reach full maturity is 4 days, it's gonna be by day 9 that we will have the corn ready for another harvest. So by that time, I'm gonna have to make sure that we're gonna have even more food because we still have 6 military rations. But despite the fact that I do have like some form of can inside of the house there, if I use all these things, then I am left only with whatever I can sustain myself from farming. And if I just don't have enough things, or I did not plant the trees in the right spots to get to other parts of the map, I can be pretty much screwed. For example, when I did the playthrough on my own and I managed to get to like day 14, when I was able to clear out this part of the map and I was able to get down there, not only did I come across like a recipe for alchemy for a special type of tree which you can get here, I also found a dead chicken in one of the trash cans or one of the ruined cars. And I was able to butcher the chicken and have it for food. So definitely getting access to the other parts of the world will be great. Now here we can see that this tree is definitely now fully mature. We're gonna leave it for now and we're gonna see if we're gonna get more yield out of it. For example, more mushrooms or some other stuff that might be growing here. I am considering actually drinking one of these teas that will at least get me super low with the toxic levels in my bloodstream. We are still only at 31, so I'm gonna probably eat the military ration once we hit even lower numbers. How are we looking here, my dear friend? Okay, so that's more corn seeds. Yeah, one thing which I still haven't figured out is how to make the game more fluent. The menu and the overall UI for me is just horrendous when it comes to the game overall. So if you have any tips for me, please leave it in the comment section. I will be eternally thankful. So we are gonna be planting a whole lot of stuff, and this is why I made such a hot fuss about having enough water collectors in the first episode, because if I would make only one water collector and I would have the original 5,000 points of water inside in the metal water collector, which is never again refilled, because even if it rains outside, you have roof in your home or on your home, and therefore, a beetle, you will never have that refilled. So you will rely upon your external sources of water to supply you with what you will need. So one of them is now completely empty, and if I would make like just one, like I did on my first try ever, I would be left with 1,735 points of water only. The boiled corn is done, but unfortunately I seem to have full backpack, so what would be actually nice is if the compost would be finally done. But let's skip an hour. let's equip this thingy. Can make the compost thing happen. Okay, let's see if we can turn even more corn into more seeds. Need to ditch some of this wood or something. Okay, if we eat one of the military rations, we are at 95 points, so I can drop this, I can drop theoretically this. Definitely want to make sure I plant the corn around the same time, that way it will reach the maturity around the same time. And if that happens, we have a lot of corn on our hands in 4 days. That's gonna be such a long time. Especially don't know yet how to format the episodes, considering two major facts. I don't know how much I will survive, or how long will I survive, because, I mean, I'm not sure if I will be able to pull off some freaking miracle here. But in any case, if I would be able to pull off some miracle here, gonna definitely try to make the content enjoyable, and since I'm utilizing finally a better microphone on the channel, I'm hoping you are able to hear me better, it's more clearer, and my microphone is actually picking up even on the stuff that I don't want it to, but what can I do? Okay, we are gonna boil water, because that's the only thing I can afford to do currently. Let's go refill the flask, refill the watering can. But sure soon I'm gonna have to do some watering here. So this is not working. Should be able to ditch some of this wood. Still sitting on quite the plentiful stock of it. And we are going to turn the last corn into even more seeds. Therefore ensuring that we should have plenty of stuff. Now boiled corn gives us 40 points of hunger, which is actually fairly good, but like I said, you require 5 pieces of corn in order to get that thing done. So yeah, gonna expand our farm here. I know I should be planting some trees too, but yeah, when I died on my testing run, what happened was that I had like 21 trees, and I was dying of starvation because I was waiting for corn and I was standing in a field of this size, and I was at like 0 hunger, 50 toxic junk in my bloodstream. My thirst was perfectly taken care of because I have learned that actually I should be boiling the damn water. When I did the run on the first time, I did not know that I am supposed to boil the water, and so basically I poisoned myself. I used up all the time. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the herb correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Time. Should I do something with my tongue or something in order to make it sound better? But anyhow, I used up most of the herbs which removed the toxic gunk out of my bloodstream, which is generated even throughout just you hanging outside, because apparently the atmosphere is dangerous and stuff. So yeah, we need 1 more in order to get 2 more, so I need to chop down 1 tree definitely. Even with the storm, doesn't matter really what I chop down at this point. I'm after is the organic waste. That will give us 2 more composts. Theoretically, we can fill in those 3 slots and have like a big field over there. And even more theoretically, since those 2 trees are done growing, I might try to wait a bit longer. The most I advise you to try skip the time is like 4 hours. The problem is that if you are utilizing the chair to skip time, you cannot exit. This is also something that I talked about in the first episode. If you go to sleep, if you go to bed, if you go and try to skip time, make sure your thirst or hunger is properly managed, because when you wake up, you will be starving or super hungry. If you reach 0 on hunger, your health will be slowly depleting. If you, however, reach 0 on thirst, I think your character will even refuse to move, and that's just gonna create a whole lot of problems for you that you really don't want to be dealing with. So I'm gonna go, since it's night outside, and make a bunch of the organic waste so that we have plenty of compost here. I think I'm gonna make at least like 20. The next 2 pieces of compost I'm gonna probably put to use for the farm, so that we can expand the farm and have even more corn. It's gonna take some stupid amount of time for it to be fully finished. Like I said, 4 days is what you need to count for when it comes to your crops, when it comes to whatever else you are trying to do here. It's just gonna take sweet time in order to get done. And I see a large portion of the corn crop being ready, which is just beautiful. We can start picking all of this up. We can put some more corn to be boiled, and of course start farming yet again. Not really sure how many seeds do I currently possess. 14. We have some stupid amount of corn on our hands. I'm gonna go and boil at least corn. I'm gonna probably make like 2 of them. And I have to water all this, so I'll talk to you in a short while when all this has been taken care of. Okay, so even the last pieces of the old corn crop were finished, and because I had the issue of watering it during the night, that is what has caused some of the corn to reach the full maturity later on. But we are sitting on some decent number. Really wanna like fill in that gap. Make some more of this, because this gives us 40 pieces or 40 points for hunger. So even if I would eat the corn right now, I would be at 90 points, but I feel like that would be a waste right now. In this game, I'm not really sure if it's better for you to wait till you reach like a breaking point when Jason or Brucey here will let you know that, okay, dude, you should eat something. This is kind of what I really hate. If you see like the thyme or mushrooms growing in between the purple sludge. You are unable to get to it, and that's just really annoying. Even if you like try to get to this thing, if you would not see the purple bubbles popping up somewhere above it, that stuff can kill you just because you were trying to get to something that you worked on for so long to get. And yeah, it's just really not a pleasant thing to see happen. But I'm really thinking that when we get the compost, what I'm gonna do is chop down one of these two trees at the front of the home, and I'm gonna actually pick up the seeds, and those seeds will go somewhere up there in order to reach or be used for replanting purposes. We're gonna skip some more time. The thirst we will manage, the hunger we will manage. At least be able to refill the flask. Put in more of this so that we get more compost. I'm not really sure if it's better for you to like fully chop down a tree in order to get the organic waste, or you are crafting it by using the straws or the hay with the branches. It depends. Not really sure how far you can get on your first attempt if you especially never played the game before, or like did not look into any details about it, so you're not sure what exactly to expect. But who knows? I mean, some people are just able to learn these things fairly quickly, and they do not cause any form of issues to them, and some people have to go through some hassle of learning the basic in-game mechanics in order to learn how certain features work and die while trying. There's nothing bad in that. Look, at least thanks to the difficulty in the game, you are guaranteed some form of a replay value, because you will be starting few times before you reach that level of knowledge and ability to read the situation or try to plan ahead. I mean, even right now, I can guarantee you that each of my playthroughs has been dramatically different, and the same thing can be said for even this case. I honestly cannot tell you that what I'm doing here is good or bad, or if I should change something. I'm just going and seeing how it feels, and well, eventually we will find out if it's gonna be 4 episodes, if it's gonna be 2 episodes, if it's gonna be 3 episodes, because I'm gonna step on something and kill my dumbass. But yeah, it's gonna be definitely an interesting challenge here on the channel. You know what? I'm actually thinking I'm gonna take down these cypress. Now, if you are not sure if the tree is fully mature and if you are gonna get the seeds out of it, the best way for you to make sure that you can go back is to go into the menu, press the save, and then start chopping down the tree. This way, at least at the start of the game, you are giving yourself some room for error in order to read if the trees are fully ready. Especially some of the species might be a bit more tricky, like the cypress, to figure out, but other than that, I think you're gonna be fine. I mean, even here, we're able to see that this tree is basically asking for me to chop it down, I think. I know, it doesn't sound extremely environmentally friendly, but we are changing the overall stats. We are at 11, and despite the fact that we are gonna chop down a piece of tree in order to get more seeds, somehow makes sense, and I'm still kind of confused of what the heck to think about this, but Anyhow, let's go and plant that compost and those trees somewhere around here, so we can get to those other pesky parts of the map. We're gonna plant them all over. I'm not really sure if there is some in-game mechanic which ensures that if you spread the trees around, it will draw in more animals or something. It would theoretically make sense for you to be trying to attract more fauna because there is flora, but it cannot guarantee that by like doing this you somehow do it. Of course, there is an in-game mechanic which like will summon or like spawn in these animals, but I'm not really sure how much you affected by building or planting the trees outside. So let's say right now we have trees over here, we have trees over here, and I just planted some trees over here. So I'm not really sure if you have more effect if you just plant them on one side and plenty of them, or if you plant them in a circle around and draw in more things this way. And on each playthrough I saw a completely different thing. In certain cases I had like a couple of trees which were growing at a certain spot. It took 4 days for them to reach full maturity. They just like spawned few mushrooms. That was it. That's all it did. But then on the second attempt, when I did the same map theoretically, what happened was that even lizard appeared, and I've never seen a lizard before. So maybe we're gonna see a lizard even now or maybe later, but no guarantees. Okay, let's go chop down this big boy. At least we're gonna get those 2 elm seeds. And I think that the greenery will remain here, and here I even see a freaking worm, so if I were to ditch this, I can pick up the worm. And I mean, this is like the second time I came across the worm, so I'm not really sure if there is some special purpose for him, like fishing or maybe. So I'm gonna have to hold on to him and see if we can do something. Obviously, you can see his stats and you should be able to eat him, but this is gonna increase your toxicity in the bloodstream by 30 points. And I'm not a huge fan of that, to be perfectly honest. Also, it's starting to get dark, so I better rush out to the western part of the map. Check out on those trees. Okay, here more mushrooms are spawning in. These trees are still refusing to reach full maturity, which stinks. Hopefully planting more trees will help us out. So that's 2 trees, that's a third one, there's some time here. If I would have more of the compost, I would be theoretically able to plant 1 more. Really don't see the purpose. Also, once the tree reaches the full maturity and you have used up the compost to plant it somewhere, what you will also notice is that the land or the tile on which you planted the compost has no longer the ability to sustain crop, and I just almost killed myself because I accidentally clicked on the wrong keypad. So hee haha, that would be actually kind of really bad, but then again, not your professional walkthroughs. So yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna have to make some compost here so that or organic waste so that we can have the compost available. I would kill for some more branches. I'm gonna have to probably like look to see if we can come across more bushes. I'm not really sure if I chopped down most of them down. That's like one of the best ways for me to obtain branches. I'm gonna definitely have to take a look. What can we do here? Let's refill the water so that we can grow more stuff. Theoretically, I should be able to brew 1 tea. Corn is so far doing fine. It's gonna take forever for it to be more usable. Let's make 1 more so that we have it for reserve. Thirst is doing fine. The reason why I want to brew 1 more tea is because our bloodstream is like having 40 points, so eventually if we get thirsty enough, I might drink the tea. Just gonna help me out a little bit in here. You know what? We don't need some of this stuff right now, so I'm just gonna put it here, and later on I'm gonna think of where to put it. But yeah, it's getting dark, so I'm gonna try to skip some time and I'll talk to you after.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, so some time has passed. Our main protagonist is looking a bit more early. Not really sure how to call it, but the beard is definitely killer. So I'm gonna water the crops. I'm gonna have to eat something in order to sustain ourselves. I'm gonna have to take a look around the trees to see if we can potentially get to other parts of the map, or if I'm gonna have to eat some of the provisions or the military rations in order for us to survive a bit longer. See, I'm sitting on some serious amount of corn here, so should be fine. Where can I theoretically plant a tree? You know what? Like, this is extremely annoying because it like pokes out so much. So I'm gonna actually go and plant the elm seed over here. Really hoping it's gonna kill the fungus that is growing here, and therefore, especially at nighttime, if I try to move fast here, I'm not gonna get myself killed. Let's take a look around here. No, there are no more trees growing over there. These ones are gonna be fully mature soon. I'm gonna be able to grab these branches here so that I can make more of that compost. I can almost get over here, but it's still gonna take a while, so we're gonna just leave this as it is. I don't have the military rations on me, so I'm gonna have to go back to the home to pick it up. Wow, that's a stupid amount of mushrooms. And here is the aloe, which we can then use for some of the alchemy recipes. Actually, carefully try to extract only the branches. Really not a huge fan of the red mushrooms because ooh, tomatoes! Holy fudgesicle. Okay, and this is actually subsiding quite far. So this tree is definitely ready. This one will be soon done. But these two are fully mature. So what I might have to do here is chop down one of the elm seeds, or elm trees at this time. We're gonna get 2 seeds. And I'm gonna be able to push the fungus even further back. Now I will actually require to go and eat something and sleep and get the compost and refill my watering can. So yeah, between the watering and the farming, we're gonna burn through water fairly quickly here. Okay, let's go and nom nom on one of these rations. Let's go and drink this so that we reduce this. Beautiful. I can wait one more and therefore I should be able to refill this. And when you come across the first tomato, yes, you can theoretically eat it, but not that great. I advise turn it into seeds, because you are gonna get out of that one tomato 10 seeds. So eventually when we are ready to plant even more stuff, it's gonna be much more easier. Ooh, I'm gonna be able to make only one. I really need to take a look around if I have more branches. And if I do have more branches, I am gonna be able to make some of this compost thing. Here is one piece of thyme, so we are gonna turn that into more of that lovely brew. No, just wood, just wood. Don't have the branches. Okay, so let's go to sleep, save up. Really need to get my hands on more of the compost, so I'm gonna water this and I'll talk to you once I find some sorts of branches. Okay, so did not find the branches yet, but here is a problem which we might be facing. So it's gonna take till around day 9 till we have the corn ready to be harvested. Until then, I can theoretically try to be as productive as I can throughout my days, but A, we are running low on water, and B, we might run into issue with food. Reason why I'm afraid of that specifically is the military ration provides us with 75 points of food or nourishment. So if we have only few of those packs left, 4 to be exact, oh that's bad, it's gonna definitely take us through this period, but later on we might run into some issues, especially if I'm not growing enough crops or if we are not in another part of the map by that time. Really need to fetch some of those damn branches. Let's see if there is just about anything around here. That trees will do. It will definitely drop some branches. Don't need the wood. Unfortunately, no seeds. Let's see if we can use the axe at least one more time before it fully breaks apart. Okay, so this will work for a while. Really want to see those trees growing and getting to the other parts, and also making sure that we can sustain ourselves with the crops. This corn has been watered, which makes me think soon this might request watering too. Let's just go in the meantime. Should be able to make 2. I hope. And also, I don't like the fact that when I create some of the stuff which I already have in my inventory, it doesn't necessarily occupy the same slot, so I might have to like manually manage my backpack, which is just annoying at certain points. So if there are gonna be some updates for the game, and if there is a possibility to write them down, I have few suggestions. So if someone can politely navigate me to those places, forums, Discord, whatever, please let me know. Okay, let's waste some more wood for boiling water. 50 points for hunger. Make compost a thing. This is why I think having 2 is ideal, as with having 3 at certain points, it would be just impossible for you to try and supply them, especially once you start running low on some of the resources and you don't have enough greenery growing around. So we are gonna have to obtain 2 more elm seeds. And I'm not really sure if by leaving the stomp you somehow have the possibility that in 4 days the trees would regrow, because even when you chop them down, the count of the greenery doesn't actually go down. So I'm not really sure what's the effects of you chopping and moving the trees further and further away from certain parts of the map. So still a little confused on some of these aspects, to be perfectly honest. Really don't want to be skipping time because it's still daylight and I can see and do things. Let's take a look around here. Oh, look at all these mushrooms! I should be able to make at least 1 edible dish. I'm gonna be chopping down the trees so that we can push out the greenery further away. And it looks like because I killed the tree, I made all the mushrooms pop from the ground. I'm not really sure what exactly happened there. This tree is still not fully mature, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna drop the wood so that we can grab these. I'm gonna try to make more organic waste because still unable to get to the other parts. Still. Okay, so still nothing. This is fine. Should be able to make more material for compost. Fingers crossed. And let's see if we can boil some mushrooms here. So we need to take this, put this. It'll be done in an hour, and these horrific mushrooms, if you would eat this, this would take away 75 points of your energy, increase the toxicity in your bloodstream, and give you 1 thirst and 2 hunger points. So you do the math. Okay, and to be perfectly honest, I cannot decide if I want to go with maples or these cypress trees. I'm gonna have to wait. It's gonna get super freaking dark. I'm gonna get super hungry, super thirsty, and super tired. Let's see if we can restock these. And by doing this, should be able to go eat this. Perfect. We should be able to drink one of these, reduce this level. Do wonder if I can load in these 5 logs. Yes, that frees up some more space. And because my protagonist is now tired, should be able to go and fall asleep. So now that we are recovered, should be also daylight. And we let's put this over here for now. I have 4. Great, so I can plant the 4 trees that I want to, and I'm gonna do that here in the southern part where I have chopped them down. Hopefully by doing so, we're gonna be finally able to reach the other part of the map. Eventually. Yeah, I think I would rather have the cypress planted there. I'll just go fetch that. So I know I am sitting on lots of elm seeds. But I kind of want the variety. I'm really interested to see if we will have that rain around like day 10, and if I will even have some water to work with until that point. Okay, can we cook this thing? This is gonna be the worst result out of cooking, probably, because the sporific mushroom is just really overall not making it a pleasant experience for you. Okay, so let's go plant the 2 cypress trees, and thinking if we should try to do something else on the episode, or if I should try to keep it for the next one. I mean, so far it's pretty damn miracle I did not manage to do something stupid like this because I wasn't paying attention. But luckily enough for me, I should be able to reload from the checkpoint. Which is at 8:19 in the morning, so yeah, I'm gonna have to re-water the crops, go plant those damn trees, and I'll talk to you once all that has been done yet again, because I wasn't paying attention, because I am an idiot. Because these are not your professional walkthroughs, after all.
Two hours later.
Okay, so everyone's gonna pretend you did not see anything and I did not make a complete idiot out of myself. Now here actually by this maple we see some nettle growing. The nettle can be also turned into food, but you require once again like 5 of them, and it doesn't have as much of a nutritional value such as we would get out of tomatoes or corn. So yeah, we're gonna definitely have to do something regarding that. Also, because I'm running super low on water, makes me think I should probably consider making more of the water catchers, especially because we're gonna probably have the rain on the next episode. I think I have been talking for quite a long time as of now, and if anyone is still watching, then well, thank you for sticking around. I do hope you did enjoy the episode. As you can see, the cooked sporific mushroom will basically refill to 20 food, 20 thirst, but will completely exhaust me, so I'm gonna probably knock myself out. I'm gonna wish you a pleasant rest of the day. For more fun content, consider subscribing to the channel, as I publish stuff on a weekly basis for all sorts of things, including playthroughs, discussions, early in-game reviews, and tips and tricks videos. So go check out the channel, link is in the description. And I will see you in the comments or at the next one. Thank you for watching, and let's get high. I mean, let's go sleep.